am I the a-hole for saying that my boyfriend's friend can't visit us now that I'm pregnant? My boyfriend has a friend who's currently doing the whole van lifing thing and living out of his van. For the past several months, the friend's been coming by our house a couple of days a week. Every time he's here, he stays around 10 to 12 hours to use the shower, kitchen, washing machine, and the Wi-Fi. I've been unhappy with the lack of privacy and the extra work for quite a while, which my boyfriend is well aware of, but I've been putting up with it because the friend's down on his luck and could use some help. However, now that I'm pregnant, I'm ready for this situation to end. I want to be able to lay on the couch without pants, not shove my giant tired boobs into a bra constantly, and talk about my private medical details with my partner without having to whisper about them in the other room. And I'm also just worn out in general, and the friend is generating so much extra work. He comes into our home after doing construction jobs and tracks in tons of dust and dirt. Every time he showers, he somehow leaves a thick coating of body hair all over the shower that I have to clean up before I can shower again. After he uses the washing machine, there's sticks and leaves and sand all over the laundry room. Not only does he hog the kitchen when I want to cook meals sometimes, but he also leaves dirty dishes that I have to deal with afterwards. Ideally, I'd have my boyfriend deal with the extra work, since he is the one who's inviting the dude over, but with his busier work schedule, most of the household work falls onto me. So to me, it's a no-brainer that the friend finds somewhere else to be for a couple of months to give me some privacy and a break from the added work. However, when I brought this up to my boyfriend and told him that it was time to set a boundary with the friend, he told me that first of all, it was a very awkward and weird thing to ask his friend, "Hey boyfriend, it's not just affecting you. You'd rather put up with this and inconvenience your pregnant wife over having a small awkward conversation." Oh my god. And secondly, he said that it's a cruel and insensitive thing for me to request. You've got a boyfriend problem, OP. He's willing to do so for me, but at the same time, is making it very clear that he thinks I'm a monster for even asking him to do this. Is it actually reasonable for me to put a no visitors rule in place for a few months or not? You're not the a-hole, OP. This is infuriating. The boyfriend lets this inconvenience his pregnant wife, has the audacity to let his pregnant wife pretty much do all of the work, and then says that his pregnant wife is cruel because they're not happy with this situation. Okay, so first of all, guy who's mooching off OP and OP's boyfriend, clean up after yourself. That's not even a bloody question. And OP's spineless boyfriend, don't then make your pregnant wife clean up after your mooching friend. Oh, it's so frustrating, and we just started. Yeah, like this comment says, or maybe he could also tell his friend to be a damn adult and clean up after himself when he's a guest at somebody's home. Yeah, but OP's cruel because OP's not happy with this situation. Wow. The comment above that comment says, not the a-hole. Ouch, pregnant and dealing with a spineless boyfriend and a moocher. You can take a couple of different routes if a productive conversation cannot be had with your boyfriend, but honestly, you need to explain to the boyfriend how up this is that he's making somebody else a priority that's not the mother of his future child. Tell your boyfriend from now on he's responsible for cleaning up after the friend, who's only allowed for so-and-so numbers of hours and no more. You're not running a motel because if you were, you'd be charging. And go about your routine as usual when the friend is there. Don't put bras on. You're too hot, too tired, too sore, too hungry. Do talk about the medical procedures. Heck, I'd be putting on a birthing documentary or something on full volume. Make him as uncomfortable as possible. You're in your own house, and he's not a welcome guest. This comment says info, aside from the fact that the father of the baby you're expecting called you a monster, what's his plan for when the baby comes? And OP said he has not indicated any willingness to put a stop to the situation once the baby's here. Yeah, that's not surprising. Other than perhaps a brief pause while I'm immediately postpartum, it's been very hard to get him to discuss the situation directly and create a plan for how to handle it, because every time I bring it up, he gets a hurt and disappointed look on his face, quietly mutters about how I'm being cruel, and then refuses to talk to me about it anymore. Oh, your boyfriend sucks. And also, imagine prioritizing your mooching friend above your pregnant wife. And the boyfriend's got the damn audacity to be all disappointed and say that OP's being cruel. Yeah, I don't know, this one's a tough one. I could never be with somebody like this. Sorry, I've been calling OP their wife, not their girlfriend, haven't I? But yeah, OP's boyfriend is making every wrong move here, and the boyfriend still got the audacity to say that OP's being cruel. The top comment says, it's your house and space. The friend has to find somewhere else to impose now and after the child arrives. OP, if the moocher ever visits again, I'd also advise you to not do anything to assist the cleanup. Instead, text a list of all that needs doing due to moocher's dirt to your partner and have him do all the cleanup, no matter what hours he works. Because the only reason that he doesn't understand the load is because he isn't carrying most of the load. Yeah, this comment too, I dislike your boyfriend intensely. He's ignoring your request for privacy in your own home while you're pregnant pregnant and has the audacity to leave any cleanup at all for you to do is breathtaking. Chuck the whole man out. And this comment says, is he van lifing or is he living out of his vehicle? There's a difference, but either way, a lot of places do have facilities that people can utilize when choosing to live in a van. And OP said part of our disagreement is due to the fact that we have different opinions on whether the friend's current situation is an intentional choice or not. Based on his social media posts, how many hours that he works, and his general life circumstances, it could be interpreted either way. So they're living out of their van, posting about it on social media, is that what that means? While also mooching off you and ruining your life in the process. There are so many bad signs here. This comment says, great, then your boyfriend can pick up after and clean up after his friend starting today. He doesn't care about how exhausting it makes you, so you can also overlook how exhausting his work schedule is. That'll help him understand where you're coming from. Hopefully your partner can come to his senses and realize that you're pregnant and shouldn't be stressing or doing so much work like that anyway. Yeah, and if not, and he keeps on putting the friend above you, OP, if I were you, I wouldn't be able to look at him the same. And is that somebody that I would want to be my husband if I were you? Somebody who can't even stand up for me, somebody who can't prioritize me, and somebody who expects me to clean up after their gross mooching friend, but has the audacity to say that I'm cruel? Hell no. Hey guys, I hope you're having a great day and I hope you're ready for today's episode. I definitely wasn't expecting such a frustrating start to the episode, but hey, we are reading Am I the A-hole, so what did I expect? Jin's back on the basket once again. I don't know why Nez doesn't want to be in the basket. Every time I sit down to record, I put Nez in the basket, and sometimes she's a little bit interested and then I start filming, and then she'll hear something or she'll be hungry or something and she'll disappear. But it's okay because we have Jin. Enjoy the video, everybody. Oh wow, this one is an A-hole post. So this one's been labeled as OP being the a-hole. Interesting. Am I the a-hole if my boyfriend made a meal and asked me how it was and I said fine? So my boyfriend made chicken breast with some white rice, a salad with garlic, and we had some pickles and beetroot on the side from jars, and we sit down and he says, how is it? And I said, fine. There's nothing special. Everything tastes as it should. And he got upset and said that he added extra garlic in the lettuce and soy sauce on the breast. We both said that we couldn't taste it. And I said that I'm not used to making comments about food like he is in his family. When we eat with his mother, everybody has to say something along the lines of, how delicious. This is so tasty. Yum. At every meal. And in my family, we probably find that behavior a bit fake. We just sit down and talk about other things. And if there was something new in the food, then we'd ask how it was. So he got really upset because I should have said that it's great or good instead of a normal and not very enthusiastic, it's fine. Everything tastes as it should. And then he proceeded to pick his plate up and left to eat in the office. I don't feel like partaking in a family tradition that I don't feel is natural. I feel like I'm forced to say something that I don't care about or don't believe in. It's chicken breast and white rice. I mean, am I the a-hole for not making a bigger deal out of a simple meal? Is he overreacting, or should I just fake and oblige and say that it's really tasty every single meal? Oh my god, yeah, I sort of understand where you're coming from, OP, but you've got a terrible attitude. It's about showing your partner that you're grateful for them and grateful that they cooked you a meal. It's about being polite. It's about showing gratitude. And you sound so angry even in this post. Am I meant to fake and say that it's really tasty every single meal? Oh my god. The top comment says, okay, let's break this down differently. I'll be making some assumptions because there's not a ton of context. Boyfriend goes out of his way and makes a nice dinner. Acts excited about doing something nice. Girlfriend acts like not only is it not special, but that it isn't very good. Boyfriend feels embarrassed and deflated. Acts hurt. Girlfriend thinks it's dumb to treat people nicely when they do something nice. Either this isn't a match that you understand each other at all, or you need to be nicer, or both. You the a-hole. The comment below that says you the a-hole. You, honey, how do I look? Him, fine. That's what you did and you know it. The response to that one says him, you look as you should. And the comment below that one says you the a-hole. You even come off condescending in the way that you're right. Why does it matter that things were out of jars and stuff? If somebody puts effort to cook for you, they deserve some sort of gratitude. Like OP is right in the sense that they don't need to make a big deal about it, and they don't need to be dramatic or like fake anything, but it doesn't say that OP even thanked them for cooking for them. And the wording that they chose was so bad. It's not that you need to be like, oh my my god, thank you so much, you're so amazing, this is the best thing in the world ever, and make a huge deal about it. It's the fact that you didn't show that you were even grateful at all. I don't think OP's like a huge a-hole or something, but it's not so much about making comments about the food. The bit that they're missing is showing that you appreciate what they did. OP seems a lot more focused here on talking about the food. I read the post again just then, and I'm pretty sure that we're not missing anything, unless they were like, thank you for cooking for me, and they didn't put that in the post. Because I do agree with OP with what they're saying about like, I don't need to make a huge deal about the food. And that's where they're saying we probably find that behavior a bit fake. And I do understand that. If you sat down and you were like, oh my god, this is the best thing I've ever put in my mouth, then yeah, that behavior probably is a bit fake. For me, from what I'm seeing here, the only a-hole bit is that they didn't really seem to thank their partner or show any sort of gratitude for them making them food. And also their wording of it's fine, everything tastes as it should, there's definitely better ways to say that. But yeah, from what I'm seeing here, it's mainly the lack of gratitude. Yeah, the second top comment, he and his family are used to words of affirmations as a way to show love. You don't have to use flowery language, but you could have said, it's good babe, thank you for making dinner. What you said was a deliberate snub, and that's why you the a-hole. The next one says, am I the a-hole for ignoring a baby on the train? I was on the train yesterday traveling up to university as I had an important exam. I was super stressed out trying to do my flashcards on my phone. I was sitting at a 4-seater, really quiet train, when this woman that had a large buggy sits right across from me, effectively shutting me in. I thought it was weird because she knew that I'd have no space if she sat there. Obviously, I had practically no space, but only had 30 minutes of my journey left, so I just smiled at the toddler and I kept on doing my flashcards. Here's where I may be the a-hole. The toddler kept on moving about on the seats and screaming when I was trying to focus. I even had my earphones in to try and block out the noise so I could study. Without even thinking about it, I let out a sigh. I didn't even mean it. The mum looked at me and asked me if I was bothering her. I said no, I'm just trying to focus. She then said that I was strange for not even entertaining her child for the journey. Oh, get out of here. I didn't even say hello to him or anything. I could have gave her a break. That's a pretty wild expectation. I was shocked at that because why am I, a stranger, meant to entertain your child? Just because you sat right next to me and blocked me in on a quiet train? It was so weird of her. I just nodded and went back to what I was doing because I had other stuff on my mind. Am I the a-hole? No, definitely not. There's no obligation here and they 100% sat next to you on purpose because they, for some reason, expected you to entertain their child because they wanted to have a break. I bet they do that like every single time. The top comment says, not the a-hole. I have a toddler and I could never even imagine speaking to somebody that way. She's my responsibility, not a stranger's. Yeah, you didn't do anything here, OP. No, you're not the a-hole, OP. The next one says, am I the a-hole for calling my ex-wife's new boyfriend names in front of my kids? And once again, this one is marked as the a-hole. Alright, I'll 46 male make a long story short. My ex-wife 40 female left me 2 years ago for our next door neighbor. After I found out that they've been having an affair for about a year. We've got 2 kids together, 5 female and 8 male. Unfortunately, the judge gave us split custody, though if I had my way, she and her new boyfriend would never come see my kids again. I wish they didn't have to grow up thinking this kind of behavior is acceptable. Anyway, it's been a long, painful process. I'm at my wit's end with this divorce. I'm trying to be the mature adult here, but every once in a while I'll have a slip up and I'll call her new boyfriend obscene names when referring to him. Sometimes maybe when the kids are within earshot. I know it's not the most mature thing to do, but I can't see why I need to be respectful towards the man who stole my wife and broke up our family. The other day my ex-wife left me a long voicemail telling me how unacceptable it is to call this guy names in front of our kids. My guess is that one of them repeated an insult to her. Our friend wrote to me to back up my wife, claiming that I was being unfair to my kids. Out of this entire story, how the hell am I the one being immature and unfair? I know I'm not perfect, but acting like I'm the monster in this story seems excessive. Am I the a-hole? Yeah, they're definitely right that it is unfair to your kids, OP. You shouldn't do that in front of your kids. But also, oh my god, of course you feel the way that you feel. Of course you're angry. Of course you're at your wit's end. But don't do that in front of your kids. Yeah, pretty much all the comments are saying the same stuff. You the a-hole, but not for hating him or your ex. You're an a-hole for bringing your kids into it. Vent and insult him all you want to, but not in front of your young children. They don't need to be dragged into the adults' problems. The second top comment says, you the a-hole. We can call our exes and the people they around with whatever we want when there are no children around, but you have to button it in front of the kids. It sounds like you're having a lot of grief stuck regarding this, OP, and I hope you're talking to someone about it. But you can't badmouth your ex or her new man or anybody else on her side of things really in front of the kids, because the kids are going to have to interact with those people and they deserve to make their own opinions about them. If that person is dangerous, you deal with it through the courts. Otherwise, it's something that you have to live with. It sucks. Yeah, definitely a you the a-hole consensus. All the comments are like, I'm sorry that you're going through this. It's really awful. But yeah, you can't badmouth them in front of your kids. The top comment says, you the a-hole. And let's be clear, trying to be the mature adult here is not calling your ex's partner obscenities in front of your young children. And nobody believes it's a slip up. You want your kids to know that you hate them, and I suspect you want them to hate him too. I can't see why I need to be respectful towards the man who stole my wife and broke up our family, because doing otherwise is called parental alienation, and your ex can take you to court for it. You're making your kids feel like they need to choose between you and their mum. Look, I get it. You feel wronged and this whole situation isn't fair. It's too bad though. You have to suck it up for your kids and you have to stop putting them in the middle. Vent to a therapist about it, because behaving like you're entitled to act like a petulant child isn't doing you or your kids any good. The next one says, am I the a-hole for destroying my best friend's proposal because I believed that she was being kidnapped? Oh my god. So this actually happened last weekend and I'm still shaking. My best friend Emily, 29 female, has been dating her boyfriend Chris, 31 male, for about 4 years. I, 28 female, love her to death and I've always supported their relationship, even though Chris is eccentric. He loves surprises and stuff. Think flash mobs and scavenger hunts that nobody asked for. Anyway, I was visiting Emily. We were walking around catching up and then this unmarked white van comes up next to us. 2 masked men jump out and they grab her. She begins screaming and I freak out. So I did what any sane frightened human being would do. I grabbed my pepper spray, legal where I am, and I yelled bloody murder and I went wild. I sprayed one dude in the face, I kicked another in the shin, and literally pulled Emily back by the coat while yelling for 911. Turned out it was Chris and 2 of his buddies. They were attempting this strange prank kidnapping into surprise proposal situation because Emily wanted a proposal like in the movies. Why would they do that? Chris was yelling, crying over the pepper spray. Emily was scared when the cops arrived. It was so chaotic. Now Chris is angry. He tells me that I ruined the most significant moment of their life and I embarrassed him in front of everybody. Emily tells me that she understands why I freaked out, but she wishes that I'd read the room. You did read the room. What the hell were you meant to do? But like, how was I gonna know? It seemed real. She was crying and they had masks and it was a literal van. Yeah, and also, hey, thank you for protecting me. No, you should have read the room. What are you talking about? Everyone's acting like I overreacted, but I genuinely thought that she was being trafficked. Am I the a-hole for spoiling the proposal? Why didn't they tell you that this was the plan? Yeah, the top comment, read the room? 2 guys snatch up your screaming friend on the street and she's telling you to read the room? What if somebody else had called 911? What if somebody else on the street saw and started wailing on them? What if other people started going on local media about a girl getting grabbed up? This was a poorly conceived prank proposal and you did what anybody else would have done. Not the a-hole. Your friend and her boyfriend are dumbasses. Yeah, massive dumbasses. The comment below that says, not the a-hole, Chris is a moron. If he intended to kidnap her to propose, he needed to make sure that whoever was with her knew. Yeah, for sure. If he's stupid enough to think that a friend would just stand there while random strangers try to kidnap their friend, he's a fool. And how can you read the room? You're not psychic. Yeah, what are they talking about? And what's the friend talking about? OP, you were being a good friend. Like, I'm sorry, friend, that I didn't read the room and I was protecting you from what I felt was a real situation. And what the hell's romantic about this? Oh yeah, I'm gonna propose to my partner, so I'm gonna pretend to kidnap them first and then propose to them. Oh yeah, they'll love that. How romantic. What does the kidnapping add to this? Oh my god, babe, I'm so happy that you pretended to kidnap me and then propose to me. The fake kidnapping really added to the effect. What? Nah, it can't be real, can it? Yeah, this comment. From what I can tell, the room consisted of a white van and 3 masked men trying to take a woman off the street. And the woman screaming. What more is there to read? Yeah, the reaction from the friend is infuriating. Like, oh, I'm sorry that I was trying to protect you. And also read the room? You did. Oh, I'm gonna propose to my girlfriend, so I'm gonna pretend to kidnap her first. What? Yeah, that's enough for today. That was a ridiculous episode, and I hope you had a good good time today, everybody. Let me know in the comments what you thought. And the wholesome meme says, I don't know what I like more. The fact that the cat licked an image of a cooked chicken or the disappointment in his eyes. That is so cute. Such a beautiful little cat too. And the little scrunky face. Like, that's cardboard, not food. That's so cute. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you had a great time today. The comment of the day goes to KSM0922. I hope you're ready for this. Vincey, who was in fact not ready for this. Yeah, 100%. KSM0922, that is such a good comment. I'm never ready for these episodes because I don't really feel like I can be. It's really hard to prepare for these sorts of episodes, and I never know what to expect. It was a horrifying episode today, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for the support, and I'll see you in the next episode. So make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every other day. Bye!